Goes. Hello, 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 and welcome to the RuCap, presented by the Drag Queen Database. That's right. My name is Aaliyah Sky, filling in for our host, Alex Ringler, who is also out yet again. Girl, come on back. So let's go ahead and go around the group. Let's see who else here with us. Let's go ahead and start with my dear friend, Miss Garrett. Garrett, introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from and what do you do?
Hey everyone, I am Garrett Pettiani, co-owner of Everything Q Life, including the Drag Queen Database. Happy to be here today, calling in from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Whoop, whoop. Also calling in from Las Vegas, Mr. Andrew, introduce yourself, friend.
Hello everybody, my name is Andrew Lignelli. I am the Director of Development for the Drag Queen Database. As you can see here, DQDB, merch coming. And I'm also from Las Vegas.
Nice. All right. So we got our Las Vegas girls, and then calling in from New York. Let's introduce ourselves, Mr. Michael.
Hi, I'm Michael Barbieri. I'm a dining and entertainment writer, and I'm the creator of Dragtastic, my drag-based column. And I'm calling in, yes, from New York.
Lovely to see you, Miss Girl. I keep tagging on my post, Dragtastic. I'm waiting for you to repost something.
Hey.
All right, girl. We throwing that out there.
I'll get there.
And then also from New York, we have the wonderful Walter. How are you doing today, friend?
I'm best day of my life. So it is the dreaded and feared Walter Kurtz coming to you live from Donkeymere, home of the Chandelier. And it is a beautiful sunshiny day after spitting rain earlier.
Oh, girl. That's so funny that you say that because I'm calling in from Los Angeles, California, where it actually is very cloudy and kind of rainy today. Very bizarre. But my name is Aaliyah Sky, and let's go ahead. We're going to jump on into today's episode. It was a cute episode. I thought there was notes to be had. So let's go ahead and start off with our mini challenge for the day. We're not going to talk about last week. This girl, I did not agree. So we're going to skip her. So we started with our mini challenge this episode, which is our snap out of it, where the queens have to pretend to slap each other and react. So did we have any thoughts on this? I personally kind of felt like, is this the new readings fundamental challenge? Because this is the second season we've seen it. Andrew, let's go to you. What do you think about this mini challenge this week?
I don't know if it's supposed to replace the reading challenge coming up, but it's definitely better than the reading challenge has been for the past couple seasons. There's like one or two girls who get the reading and then the rest kind of flop, but most of them are pretty funny in this, I thought. And the extra element of the physical comedy of them slapping each other just makes it more entertaining. So I loved it. I hope they keep it in. This is something they can do every season, and I don't think it'll get old or stale.
Hella cute, girl. I agree with you. Now let me ask you this, Andrew. Have you ever been slapped for reading somebody? Or slapped somebody for reading you?
No, I'm very non-violent. I avoid all that, so no.
Oh, we love that. Not me.
I channel
Walter,
Maine West.
Let's go on over to Walter. I want to hear your thoughts about you seem like the more aggressive of the bunch. So what did you think about the slap-buffoonery going on today's episode?
Please, I'm just a little cuddly teddy bear with teeth.
Lies.
I think it's, to use your word, Ali, I think it's cute. The only problem I have with it, I thought it went on too long last night. I was with it for about 2/3 and then I just kind of zoned out because it became repetitive. But no, it's fun. It just went on too long.
I feel you, girl. I feel you. Michael, what do you think?
I enjoyed it, and I agree with Walter. I always watch every episode twice. Once over dinner with Vincent, and then I go and watch it alone and take notes. and I agree. It did go on too long, but I did like some of the physical. I love the way Evie managed to bend and twist her body into those falls when she would get slapped. That was great.
She's a bendy pretzel, that one.
Yep.
So cute challenge. But immediately after the challenge, we are introduced to most of the eliminated queens this season. And their challenge is given to them and they have to basically make over the drag queen. So they're paired off. So Brooklyn wins the mini challenge and she gets to pair all the girls off. Of course, there's some mention about it being a bit strategic. Do we feel like she was strategic in giving Silky, girl, what is her name? Yes,
Soju.
that girl went home first. I didn't get to know her.
Soju.
Did you think it was like, girl, did you think it was sabotage? Garrett, what do you think? Was that sabotage on her part?
Well, I think that to Brooklyn's point, if you were to take Silky and look at all the girls on the other side, I don't think anybody would have really been a match. You know, she's unique in her own, like, you know, there was no option for her. So I think she did the best job matching up all the other girls, and then whoever was left for Silky was left for Silky. That's the way I saw it.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Michael, what did you think about their pairings?
I agree. I thought everyone was paired off very well. And I think maybe there might have been a little, to use the incorrect word, strategery in putting Soju with Silky. Soju, much as I mean, I don't really know her, so I don't know if I really like her. But she has her issues.
Okay, girl, issues. I like how you like sidestep it. Her issues.
Well,
So
her cyst, and then she can't walk in heels, and then
girl,
there was something, you know, she's a mess.
girl, 11 episodes later, and we still haven't got over that damn pus bubble. I'm not feeling for it. I'm not here for it. So the girls' challenge, of course, this week is to make over the queens that they're partnered with, and like every makeover challenge, the whole point of the challenge is to see family resemblance. So I have a quick question. I know that I have put one of you in drag before. Where are you, according to me? Right there. That's Miss. So for y'all who don't know, Miss Vanilla Sky over here, she's been put up in drag by me, and I thought she looked hella like my sister. Have any one of the other individuals here ever been put in drag before? And did you look like the queen that put you in drag? Anybody?
I've been in drag, but no queen put me in drag.
You've never been in drag? Michael, have you ever been in drag?
I have, and I make the world's ugliest woman.
Oh, girl. For every ugly girl, there's another one out there worse.
I will post.
I don't know how to do makeup. All I did was foundation and some blush. I was Peggy Lee, among other things.
Tried.
But there was no other queen to put me in drag. I just did it myself, and I looked like hell.
All right for the OG girl looking like hell. Were you feeling the fantasy, though? Were you feeling it?
Was I feeling it? Yeah. I was having fun.
Okay, all right. Girl,
Yeah,
that's
you gotta find a
I'll send you a picture.
Oh, all right, girl. I want to see this photograph. Now, I'm very curious about Walter. I couldn't imagine, but maybe she had a face bikini on last week. Walter, have you ever been put in drag before?
No, never done it. But I do have a drag name, even though I've never been in drag.
All right, what's your drag name, girl?
Beth Israel.
Beth Israel. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Miss Beth Israel.
You have to be from New York to get the joke.
Well, girl, why don't you fly me out to New York and I'll put you in drag?
She's got a big, large red beehive. Yeah.
Okay, girl, I can design you something around that. I don't know what.
My drag name is Leafy Debris.
I love the kitschy names. I wish I would have chose a different name all those many years ago, but we're stuck with her now. So moving on. So all the girls are partnering off. They're told what to do. And me personally, this episode felt like there was a lot of space filling. I don't really know if that's correct, but we have a lot of drama going on. It's a build up to drama and then just kind of like a drama. So, but we have Miss Ariel who says that she has left an entire rack of wigs. She's completely forgot. And if we haven't forgot, they all argued about them stupid ass wigs for a hot minute, like a whole episode. And then of course we have Miss Scarlett just voicing her opinion like we do each and every week and started all this big old drama. So I'm going to go back to Walter because I feel like she knows a bit more about the drama than some of us other individuals. So Walter, did you feel like the drama was justified? Did you feel like it was just like time filler?
Well, I didn't understand what the big deal was with Ariel's wigs. You just tell everybody, yeah, I forgot the wigs. Would you mind just bringing them back to me? Mm-hmm. End of subject. Why it became this other thing was just stupid.
Right.
And then Scarlett talking. She's just giving opinions, but the producers are poking the bear there, but I do have to go back and say something about the soju thing.
Yeah.
I think Rue's comment when he asked Brooklyn, was that strategic? And Brooklyn's, well, yeah, but you put Silky with soju? The way he said it, I mean, if I'd been Brooklyn, I would have said, what's so wrong with soju? What's the problem with that? Why? Who would you put soju with? Rue, what's wrong with soju? It was real. I thought it was offensive the way he said that, because seriously, what's the big deal? Somebody had to get soju. Why not Silky? But it was just the way he said soju's name. I thought it was really, really offensive. Sorry, but moving back.
Soju.
Yeah, but moving back forward, the wigs were stupid, and the other thing was just people talking about shit.
Girl, she was just extra filling in the episode. I couldn't deal with all of it. Now, I do want to go to Andrew on this because I know she's a big fan of a big wig. So, girl, Miss Andrew, if you were one of the queens in there, would you have argued over one of those wigs, or would you have been one of the girls to tell Ariel, like, she got your pink one, she got your blue one, she got your, what would you have done?
I would have done that. Like, here's your wig. Which ones are yours? Which ones are not? And maybe Raja took them and they're gone now. Who knows? But, that's a simple solution. My whole thing with all the drama that happened, though, is so the whole point of the makeover challenge traditionally is putting people who've never been in drag before into drag. And that's the episode, teaching them how to walk, teaching them all these things. When you're putting seasoned queens into drag, there's really nothing to show. They know what they're doing. They're just putting them in makeup that resembles their own makeup. So they had to fill it with something. They needed something else to make it interesting. So I think they kind of pushed all this drama out just to fill.
Yes, girl. Typical Saturday night for most of us. Michael, do you have an opinion on that? You've been shaking your head up and down.
Well, I just think I think a lot of it was just producer manufactured bullshit. I think they again, as I believe Walter said earlier in our season, as it were, they don't have a lot of these queens aren't terribly interesting. So the producers are just creating drama. And I think that's what they did. I do admire the fact that Scarlett didn't get overheated when the argument happened. But basically it's kind of become the Real Housewives of drag.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I was just gonna say. Yes, it's like, are they taking the model of these Real Housewife stuff because they think that's what it used to be the audience was gay people, right, on Logo and stuff like that. Now it's like mainstream America, and they're trying to cater to that audience instead of their base.
My friend Steven that I was chatting with earlier, he used that term today. He said, Real Housewives of drag. And I went, oh my God, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing is that that Silky and Evie argument about, I'm just telling the truth. That has been going on for 9 episodes now? It shows you how bereft they are with storylines and interest with these people, that they have to keep whipping that particular boring argument. It's a corpse, and they've just propped it up in the corner. Enough already.
Beating a dead horse.
Yeah.
I personally feel like last season was so full of like love and like enlightenment, and then like you had like the thing with like Sasha Velour and like the anorexia, you know what I mean? Like there was a lot more like social issues that were kind of, and I do kind of feel like there was a lot of backlash from fan base on that because there wasn't a lot of drama last season. There was a little bit with one of the queens, but really not. So it makes me wonder if they've dialed it up for this season specifically for that reason. But moving on, so all the queens get up and they drag. Some of them are cute, some of them are less than cute. And then we have our runway. So did we have a favorite look this episode? Was there anybody that specifically stood out to you? Was there anybody that you really could have just did without? I mean, I know mine, but let's go over to Garrett. I'm interested to see what you think, my friend.
Well, as far as like the challenge goes, I do think that Miss Vanjie did do a really good job of doing the family resemblance. And so I think that the people that were in the top deserve to be in the top. However, I did love, and I always have loved this about Nina, is that even though it wasn't specifically what the other queens did, I didn't necessarily think that it didn't go along with what the challenge was. I saw that it was like a unique take on it. I liked that. And even though they didn't look like each other, I thought it was really cool. And that's why I love Nina. And as we know, there's like an uproar all over social media about it, about the way the episode played out. And so look-wise, I like that. I like that kind of look. I thought it was good, and I don't know. I don't think she should have been in the bottom.
Okay. Well, we'll get to that in just a second. But let's talk about the looks, girl, because, you know, I'm a fashion designer, and that's what I'm into. So we're going to talk about that. So, Andrew, who was your favorite? Who was your least favorite out of the looks?
My favorite also was Miss Vanjie. You know, just looking at her and Ariel, if you looked quickly, you couldn't tell who was who. Like, they were almost identical. And that's impressive. That's hard to do with different bone structures and different faces. So for that, I think Vanjie was my top of the week. I didn't really care for Silky's too much. I didn't actually see the padding mistake that Michelle was calling out. I couldn't see that, but it just didn't look good. Like, it didn't flatter her body and anything like that. Soju either. She didn't look great in what she was wearing. But I always struggle with the family resemblance aspect of it, because how do you judge that? Like, is it look like you or look like a relative?
I think the point is to look
identical and
like
they get
you
red for
from
it.
the same house. Like, perhaps you learn from the same person, or I think as long as you have that kind of resemblance, it shouldn't matter your skin tone or all that kind of stuff. Personally, it's my opinion. Michael, let's go to you. What did you think about the runway?
Loved Vanjie and Ariel. I thought they looked wonderful. I liked Brooklyn and Plastique. I thought they did a beautiful job. The gowns were gorgeous. Now, it was very pageanty, which usually I don't care for, but I love the way they carried themselves. I love the bit of comedy where they went like, oh,
girl, she was like not having it.
Beautiful. That was really well thought out. And then about Nina and Suga, I really, really hate the criticism that, oh, you know, it's too costumey looking. They're fucking drag queens.
Yeah.
Of course they're supposed to, you know, they're not supposed to look exactly, they're supposed to be heightened and exaggerated. So I didn't think those looked like bad costumes. I thought they looked great. So I really liked Nina and Suga.
I think the show should differentiate fashion from drag. I think like high fashion off a runway should be a category on its own. It shouldn't be expected every single time that you're going to turn some like ridiculous like couture look. I do think that should be introduced as a category. At least there should be like a separation between the two of them. Because I agree with you 100%.
I mean, if you want to call it RuPaul's pageant race, then fine. You can have everyone looking beautiful with beautiful gowns every single time and gorgeous and perfect hair. But it's drag, and drag is costumey to my mind.
Okay, I would agree with you. So let me ask your opinion. What about my look this afternoon? I'm not giving you pageantry.
But there's a fun exaggeration to it, I think.
Girl, I'm just setting a trap for you.
No. I mean, I like, for instance, I think your eyes are slightly exaggerated, and I like that.
Thank you.
And the gigantic earrings. You know, it's costumey while it still looks glamorous.
Okay, see, she clawed her way out of that trap really cleverly.
No trap.
So, okay, so of course we have our tops and the bottoms. The runways were cute. I personally there wasn't anyone that I didn't like except for Silky. I mean, so moving on from her. We've already said enough about her. I do want to bring this up because I am curious to know what your answers would be. So Ru asked the dreaded and feared question, who do you think should go home and why? And it wasn't just the top 6 girls that got to answer. She did ask all the previous girls, which led me to believe that this was really just an episode for drama. I really feel like that's what it was written for. Let's see how much drama we can get out of these girls. So do we agree with, I mean, basically everyone either picked Evie or they picked Silky. There was no other options. Every girl thought one of the two of them should go. Do we agree with that? Would we have picked somebody else? Andrew, who would you have said?
I honestly, I love her to death, would have picked Vanjie. I mean, she
Yeah.
didn't know this episode. Maybe not this episode. She deserved to go home, but overall in the competition, she's struggled. I think more than Silky, or definitely more than Evie, but definitely. I don't know. I love her to death. I don't think this is her time.
Okay, so you's an asshole. Michael, what do you think, my friend? Who would you have chosen and why?
For bottom,
Yeah, to go home. Who would you have said?
I would have said Silky, just because I don't think Silky represents. I don't think there's a lot of talent there, and I know that if I ever meet her, she's gonna claw my eyes out. But I don't think she has much talent.
Okay.
And I think her runway looks are sloppy. So.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have an encounter with Silky, so just count your blessings. You're in New York, girl. Let her come for you. Garrett, who would you have sent home? Who would you have sent home and why?
I would have sent home Silky, even though I think that she may be good on a different type of show. Like maybe that cooking show they're talking about would be funny to watch or something else. But when it comes to Drag Race and what I think the drag queens should stand for and what they should represent in the community and all of those types of things, I think that it would be, just a better fit somewhere else. I like a lot of the things she does in a different setting, maybe on the Real Housewives of Drag, but not on RuPaul's Drag Race. Like RuPaul's Drag Race to me is about poise and, what do you stand for? What do you believe in? All of those things that are important to our community as a whole. You have to represent our community, especially in this day and age when people are looking to bring us down. You have to be like a different type of representation, I think.
Preach, girl. Okay.
Yeah, Silky's
right
just
there
mean
for it.
and spiteful now.
Well, I want to know, speaking of spiteful, Walter, who would you have sent home and why, Walter? Because I know that you would keep it real. I'm sure you would have your legit reasons and stand by them. So who would you have said?
Well, clearly Silky. Even before seeing that abortion of a lip sync performance, it's Silky.
Girl.
Yeah, it's Silky. Yeah, which we'll get to. But yeah, no, I mean, it's clearly Silky because she's a big personality that can be entertaining in very small bites, but she's not polished. Her drag is not elevated. It's kind of ratchet, So
Okay, so you're saying she's more personality
which is a particular type of drag that can have an elevated quality to it. And no, she's like that really bad drag queen at 3 a.m. who's drunk. Yeah.
Well, damn, Walter, tell us how you really feel.
I was going to say something similar.
So, well, Walter, now you did bring up a really good point, and I do want to talk about that next as well, which is this lip sync for our live. I think Ru summed it up. Girl, I was busy putting on my eyelashes the whole time. I did not even care to look down after watching the first 30 seconds of it. So, did any of us feel like this was about to be a double elimination? Because if I was Ru, I would have been like, I saved 2 bitches already, so you 2 hoes can go. That would have been my decision. But I'm curious to know what y'all thought of the lip syncs. Were y'all underwhelmed as much as I was? Andrew, what do you think?
Yeah, it wasn't one that I'm going to remember going forward, except for how shocking the actual result was. But the actual lip sync was meh. I think, though, it was partially impactful because Nina went home. It doesn't matter who she was against. Nina is such a ray of light and so positive and so beloved that no matter what the lip sync was, who she was against, Nina losing would have hit people really hard regardless.
Yeah.
So I think the fact that people feel some type of way about Silky made it that much worse.
I mean, I was shook, girl, because Silky was... Girl, if you out there in the universe somewhere, you can't tell me I'm telling you anything you don't already know, but that was a hot mess. Michael, how did you feel about the lip sync? Is that something that you also will hopefully soon forget, or?
I didn't. Okay, I hated what Silky did. I thought her look was shoddy. I thought her lip sync, as I was going to say the same thing. It's like she reminded me of a drag queen in a crappy drag bar, you know, in like the fucking sticks at 3 in the
Girl, where
morning
I'm from.
after having just a few too many shots of tequila. And okay, so Nina didn't do, I mean, she was very, very, very white. But but I still didn't think she deserved to go home for that. I thought
not
she
at all. I didn't agree either.
also Silky, I watched, again, like I said, I watched it a second time last night. She was missing the words. She wasn't getting the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
And Nina at least was. So
Okay, so overall underwhelming.
yeah.
It's sad. It was really sad. I wanted something there to be more. Girl, and Miss Silky kept talking about the whole episode, the whole season. I'm gonna turn it out. I'm a slut.
Yeah.
I'm a na. And then you see her lip sync, and I was like,
But
Snore.
to a certain, to cut Nina some slack, and certainly not Silky some slack, that song was an awful song to have to lip sync to. I understand it was a hit, but that is a slow groove song that has no highs, no lows. It's a slow groove. What the fuck do you do with that? And they're both big girls, and Nina's not a dancer. I thought Nina was perfectly fine, not memorable, but she was perfectly fine with what she did. She was doing some moves with it, and she wasn't trying to do tricks and all of that. She did a perfectly adequate job compared to that abortion that was going on behind her. So the music did nobody any favors. That's one of the reasons why it was so boring.
I think that's probably why Wilder Wonder was reaching out to like the fanship to ask like what songs would you want to see, because I kind of feel like they are scraping.
I mean, seriously, Aaliyah, do you lip sync to slow groove songs?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I used to in my small podunk town where I like first started doing drag, and then I learned better. Like, girl, I ain't trying to go to a gay bar and get my drink on and then listen to you do a power ballad because you're feeling some kind of way. So I don't do slow songs anymore. I do more upbeat. I'm there to entertain. So that
because then you can actually do something. You don't do slow groove things. That's you can't do anything with that.
I mean, we've seen it on the show before, though, and some queens have turned it out. I specifically remember a lip sync with Latrice Royale, where she
Natural Woman.
But that's a different type of song. That is a powerful ballad sort of thing that's telling a story and all of that. That TLC song was just a slow groove where you're sitting there smoking a blunt.
And all one level like that.
Yeah, it's all one complete level because, you know, we had the incredible lip sync with Evie and Brooklyn. That they could not have done that lip sync with that TLC song. It would have been completely different.
What you're saying is you thought neither one of the girls scrubbed the floor with no scrubs.
But I thought Nina did perfectly fine with what it was.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm going to agree to disagree. I thought she could have done more, personally. But that's beyond the point. So we get to the judge's decision this week. And this week I am in disagreement, once again, 2 weeks in a row now, with the decision of the judges. And do we feel like at this point it is becoming like RuPaul's setup race, or is it, do we agree with it at all? I mean, is Ru no longer in charge? Does she not make the real decisions, or is she just got cataracts going blind? What do we think about that? Is this, you know, are we upset about it? I'm upset about it a little bit, not gonna lie.
They should just change the name to VH1's Drag Race because she's not making any of the everything anymore, it seems.
I said that on social media, same thing.
Yep.
Ru's not calling the shots anymore.
I mean, especially when it's so blatantly obvious. Like, there's been a couple of times in the past where like, okay, well, maybe it could have gone either way. But in this case, it's definitely like, that was obvious, man. I don't know. And especially if you look at how well Nina's been doing, the last challenge, the magic show, the possibilities of Nina coming out of this and doing some really good, like, thoughtful entertainment work, producing shows and all that stuff. Like, to me, I think it was definitely like a setup.
It's produced. It feels like they already chosen who their top 4 are going to be. They're already like, they're going to put Evie against Silky at some point in their lip syncs at the end. You know they will, because that's a big battle building up and whatnot. So that technically puts us at our last episode before we get to our final 4. Next episode is when we find out when and who our final 4 are going to be. So I'm going to start, for the very last time, I mean, the choices are very, very small now. But let's go around one more time as a group. I'm curious to know, because it's the last time you can predict who the top 4 are going to be. So Andrew, tell me who your top 4 prediction is.
It's tough. I don't know if I can narrow it down to 4. The 2 that I'm confident are going to make it are Brooklyn and Evie.
Okay.
The other 3 are kind of toss-ups. I think any one of them could go next week.
All right, girl. Well, then we'll see if those 2 get in. Let's go to Walter. Walter, what's your like final top 4 prediction?
Well, just I preface it with one thing, which is clearly the show is corrupt at this point. It is. I mean, professional wrestling has more integrity than the show does, because they are not even giving the queens a fair shot at getting to the final 4. Forget about winning, but just getting to the final 4. They've got it so rigged that it really doesn't matter what you do, because last week Sugar should not have gone home. Last night was a naked save for Silky, who had no business being saved. But it started earlier. It started with Valentina not being able to do her lip sync, and Ru stopping the show and telling her to take her mask off because she couldn't see the lips. And then in the next season, when Dusty Ray Bottoms was sent home in episode 4, when she had no business being in the bottom, but they didn't want to send any of the other queens who needed to be in the bottom home. And then it moves on to Monet being an affirmative action winner. And all of that, Ru has lost all credibility, and she's ruined the show in that regard. Oh. And it's going to hurt the audience, because people want to care about the people and what they're doing. And if it's going to turn out to just be a fraud, which it is now, it's going to hurt the audience, because you're going to stop caring. But as for the final 4, it will be, but other than that, how did you enjoy the play, Mrs. Lincoln?
Exactly.
The final 4 are going to be Brooklyn and Evie and Vanjie and Akira, because after that abortion that was Silky's lip sync, I don't think the producers want to embarrass themselves by having her in the finale.
So I do want to say something real fast.
Yeah.
And I do disagree a little bit with what Walter was saying, that this is a recent development. This has been Drag Race since season 1. If you go all the way back, Jade should have never gone home to Rebecca Glasscock. Nina Flowers should not have lost to BB. Tyra shouldn't have won season 2, period. Like, this has been a history of Drag Race. And if you really look back at it, there's always been these decisions. Maybe not as blatant as they are now, but I think they've been going on since the very, very.
It's naked. It's naked now. It's completely, because last night was not even a gray area where you could say, in my opinion, she did a little bit better with this and she did a little bit better with that. No, there was no gray area with this. What Silky wasn't even adequate. She didn't even meet the adequate standard. She wasn't even an amateur there.
It was a mess.
Do we think, though, that they are looking forward to the future seasons, knowing that maybe they'll bring back Nina as like an all-star, or that they'll bring Nina back, like they have to upset everyone to later on be like, all right, well, here's her redemption chance. Like, do you think that they think that far ahead about how it's going to be, and that's all scripted too?
Well, I mean, she was marked for death, just like Sugar was marked for death last week. I mean, let's be honest, Nina was not going to win this, okay? But she certainly had a fair shot in being in the top 4. But she was denied that because the producers want Silky in the top. And one quick thing about the producers that I thought was interesting, I actually looked at the credits earlier today to see where RuPaul sits, if he's an executive producer or whatever. Michelle Visage is a producer of the show. Nowhere in the credits is RuPaul credited. And I refuse to believe he does not have contractual say in what goes on a show that has his name, that he created.
I wonder if they're also like going to make it really dramatic where the two lovebirds have to like sing against each other and like one has to send one home.
Robin calling us day one.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. That's exactly what's going to happen.
You know what it is the last couple seasons, the finale shows have gotten better and better. You have the lip syncs against the top 4, and I feel like they have kind of found a stride in that sense of the show. And I do agree with all of you in the fact that I think that it is being highly produced, and I feel like they're really trying to build up for the finale. They're really trying to set up this like tension between Evie and Silky. They're trying to like really amp up the Brooklyn and the Vanjie, like you said. So it wouldn't behoove me to believe that that's what's happening here. But like I said, I mean, only time's gonna be able to tell. We've still got one more episode and then our finale. So I think with that being said, if we've kind of wrapped it up, I feel like Miss Walter got opinions for days, though, girl. I feel like I need to have like a come to Jesus conversation after we get done filming this episode this afternoon. So with that being said, I think that's going to wrap us up for today. So, of course, you viewing at home, make sure to leave a like, make sure to leave you some comments, what you think, what you thought about the show. If you thought that Girl, it played out the way it should have. If you disagree with it, like I think the rest of us here, you can also check out the Drag Queen database. I wrote them down here, so I do know them by heart now, Andrew, but I'm having fun letting you plug those. So tell our audience at home how they can get onto the Drag Queen database.
Sure, you can log on at dragqueen.info, and you can find us on all social media platforms at dragqueendb.
Yeah, so look them up, tag them, hashtag it right there, DQDB. Those will soon to be sold. Keep an eye out for those. I want one, but man, I need it big to fit my hair.
Get you.
So with that being said, we will see you all next week. Make sure to catch out RuPaul's Drag Race each and every week, Thursday nights. Check out Untucked afterwards. And then Friday afternoon, make sure to log on to the Drag Queen database and see us live each and every week for the RuCap. With that being said, we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.